Namaste, angels. This will be the weekly general reading for the period of Sunday, June 17th through Saturday, June 23rd. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there of all, different walks of life, dynamics, straight, gay, trans, uncles, godfathers, grandfathers, biological fathers, stepfathers, all of those. The patron saint of all fathers, by the way, is Saint Joseph, who was a stepfather, essentially, so or an adoptive father. So, every father that is out there, and I mean fathers, not mothers. I wish us a happy Mother's Day when Mother's Day was around, and I promised at that time not to forget the fathers, because I was clear that I was not wishing fathers who were also mothers or mothers who are also fathers or whatever a happy Mother's Day at that time. I was only wishing mothers a happy Mother's Day, whatever, however one became to be a mother. Awesome, but only mothers. And now I'm doing that with only fathers. I promised I wouldn't forget. And I knew I wouldn't, because Father's Day is always the Sunday after my birthday. So it's like I might get some gifts, a gift or two, and I also got to remember to buy. So that's that. Also, before I start, I want to say that this reading is sponsored by Chalk Heel, the Divine One. Taylor, Leah, Kimberly, Emily May, Brian, and Jessica. So thank you guys for sponsoring the reading. I also have other Patreons that do other things, that support me in other ways. There's like several different categories on there for sponsorship and for subscription. So I've got some subscribers on there too. Let's go into what's going on, because I don't expect it to be very long today, because there's nothing that I'm really going to talk about on the Christian or Hebrew calendar. On the Muslim calendar, however, Eid Mubarak to all my Muslim followers, right? The Ramadan has come to an end. No matter how we were deciding upon the day, if you just went with the 14th being the last day of Ramadan, you could have, or if you wanted to use the fact that the moon wasn't visualized in Pakistan until the 15th, and so it had moved out a day, we can do that. Either way, Sunday the 17th will still be Eid. So I'll talk about Eid a little bit. And other than that, we have stuff on the celestial calendar. Oh, I also want to talk about, before I forget, I had an amazing download about a major shift that is coming in August. And we've been seeing in the cards, I've been seeing in my private readings also, some of which I've posted, some of which I have not. I've been doing a ridiculous amount of client readings, all different ways. Video, Skype, email, and like I said, some I posted on YouTube and just left unlisted, and so only the people with the link could see them. Some I went ahead and made public, and in no particular, there was no rhyme or reason to it. It was just like in little clusters, like, okay, I'll share these, I won't share, whatever. But I've seen, so and those of you who've seen some of them, you may have noticed also a lot of like healing coming up, a lot of 8 coming up. And I've been talking about 8 for a few weeks now. And I was first made to realize that June 2018 has an energy of 8, and to talk about the karma and justice and abundance and everything that was coming this month of June. But I also received the other day, just downloaded the message that there had been a solar eclipse. Okay, the angels told me there had been a solar eclipse also with the new moon. And this is like little known or little talked about, because I hadn't heard about it prior. And that there's also going to be a full solar eclipse in August 11th. And I was shown how all of this was interconnected, and that healing and the healing and readings, like anybody who's been wanting one, get one now. In fact, I'm doing a sale because of this. I'm starting a sale. I'm announcing it now, beginning this week, the 17th, and we'll just go the whole week. I'll be on sale. And what I will do is take 21% off of anything that I offer. You can do that. And then those of you who are my Patreon subscribers, since I always give you guys additional discounts anyway, why don't you go ahead and take an extra 12%. So it'll be 21 and 12. The numbers, of course, of the solstice, June 21st. And then together for the Patreon subscribers, that'll give you a total of 33% off. So like master number 33, the Ascended Masters surrounding us. And the reason I'm doing this is because with the Gemini new moon, or what I was shown is with the Gemini new moon, again, came this partial eclipse, 11 degrees Gemini. Now the new moon was 22 degrees Gemini. Both of these are master numbers, 11 and 22. And of course, various spiritual numbers and numbers collected to the, divine being, union, quote unquote, twin flame, whatever you want to call it, journey, this spiritual journey. Anybody, because I looked it up after I had the download, I looked it up, just like, what was that? And I did find evidence that, proving it to be true. Anybody also who has if you have planets like near or around 11 degrees of any of the mutable signs, so not just Gemini, but Gemini too, of course, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces, that this will be a particularly powerful time for you or for us. I have almost all my stuff is in, like my Venus is in Gemini, my Mercury's in Gemini, of course my Sun is in Gemini, so I'm in here. I'm all the way in here with this energy, so I'm looking forward to it. It's also going to be a very, very powerful time, as I've been saying, as far as communication and thought. And we should, take ourselves seriously and take our thoughts seriously. And if there's been like a time where you've wanted to write a book or poems or songs or just writing anything or any form of communication that you wanted to get into, or media that you have not, I say now is a really, really awesome time to do it. But also that we're going to be communicating better and in new ways, finding new ways, new creative ways to do so with one another, on a more, usual, typical basis. And coming up with new thoughts in that regard too, and new ideas, and how can I approach this maybe a better way, a healthier way, and deal with my situations? How can I react in a new way? So new ideas about all of that kind of stuff, and new ways to communicate as all of those things, in all those things regard. So the way it was shown to me, and what I was able to look up and prove to be true, was that maybe just like a few minutes after the new moon in Gemini was this partial solar eclipse, and that the two of these are also tied into a full solar eclipse that's coming August 11th. And a lot of us will fall into this group that are going to experience a major, major shift. And I don't know like details yet. Maybe that will be, come through and be downloaded, to and through and by me as well. Maybe not. I can't promise. As I learn stuff, I'll tell you. But what I do know right now is the same way I described that we've been under severe attack a couple months ago. That's coming again. So again, I feel it's very important, the healing, but also readings, which I normally, I do them. It's ironic. I do them, but I don't necessarily typically feel that they're nearly as important as energy healing. But right now, I do think it's important to find out where you are, and if it shows that you'll be, among those to go through this major shift in August. Again, it's connected to the Gemini new moon, the partial solar eclipse that we had on the same day, and the full solar eclipse that's coming, and I believe it's in Leo. And I may have something on my computer that I opened up about that. I did all this last night, and it's funny. One of the things that happened to me, so that I wouldn't forget to tell you guys, was this bracelet. It just came off. It's not broken. It's not broken at all. It was just laying on my bed. You see? It's completely intact. This scarab bracelet, each of these has a scarab carved in it of agate, onyx, tiger eye, and 14 karat gold, because precious metals matter too, not just stones. Just came off my arm. Not broken at all. Some of you will experience broken jewelry though. But it came off of me as a reminder not to forget to tell you guys to get it done. Because I can't take it off or put it back on myself. I went to the jeweler who made it for me and showed her. I said, this just came off. It's not broken from what I can tell. And she said, nope, it's not broken. It's fine. Want me to put it back on your arm? I said, yep. And that was the end of that. I went ahead and had this one fixed too. Similarly, this one was kind of broken, in that the lobster clasp had come off, and the friend of mine who owns the natural stone place, he was about to have major surgery, like really serious surgery, spinal surgery. And he called me and he said, I'd really like you to come down to the store and pray over me and bless me and all this. I don't know if some of you may not know, I'm actually also a licensed minister, and not just like one of those people that gets a certificate to marry people. Like I can perform all religious rites, like from baptism to funeral, in addition to the fact that I'm, blessed and anointed to do it by the divine, by God. I also have that paperwork down here too, licensed and ordained. And so he said, I'd like you to come down, and pray over me and with me and bless me and give me some healing energy that I make it through this surgery. And I said, of course. So while I'm there, of course, I look around at stuff and I end up buying sterling silver and malachite bracelet. Now, malachite is that stone that from which copper comes. Like your arm turns green when you wear copper or whatever. It's because that's what the minerals are. The malachite is green. In any case, I buy this bracelet. Like the next day, it just comes open and the lobster claw is just off. So I took a little piece of wire and blessed that and wrapped it around my bracelet and locked it in place. I didn't want to go back to the store on his last day of work before his surgery to bother him about the bracelet I had just bought. And I wore it like that. But today when I went to my other jeweler for this, I said, do me a favor, take a look at this one too. And she's like, oh yeah, you just need a jump spring. And she popped that in. And so now I'm back to normal. But getting back to what my original point was, this happened to me so that I would be reminded to tell you guys, to be on the lookout for attack, or to not be on the lookout for attack by, making sure that you are protected in advance of it coming to you, because the same way I said it was coming before, it is coming again. Also, if you saw my new moon reading, you saw that I had been trying to avoid talking about the white buffalo or seeing the white buffalo. I hadn't even used that deck. Then all of a sudden I'm scrolling through my guide on cable and I come across a movie called White Buffalo, and I'm like, oh boy, I can't escape it. Sure enough, I start the new moon reading, and right away I open to the White Buffalo. I'm telling the story about how that happened with the cable TV, and I opened to the White Buffalo, right away, and she just kept showing up. And I was made to begin, when I went to use the Isis cards, with proper burial for freedom, sacrifice to Osiris. So I think that is not just that there'll be some death around us, because from a positive standpoint, neither of those cards showed up in the actual spread. So I think there's going to be something on a more global scale too that will occur, and that these are like sacrifices in connection to the solar the solar eclipse, but also to the summer solstice, and that we too again are going to be under severe attack, particularly those of us who will experience this major shift in August. So if you want to get a reading and find out where you're at, and you'd like to get that reading from me, I'm having a sale to make it easier for you to do that. If you've been wanting to get a reading from me in general and just never did, I'm having a sale to make it easier for you to do that. Again, for this week, this entire week, during the period over which the solstice will occur, the 21st will occur, and, you know, covering and still holding on to some of that energy from the new moon, and with the August 11th date in mind as well. 8 and 11 also represent for me Saint Germain and Lady Portia, his divine feminine. I'm having that sale, 21% off of, you know, people who are not Patreon subscribers, and 33% off for those of you who are. Okay, so getting back to this. What else is going on this week as far as the planet situation, the celestial situation? Well, the reading begins the 17th. On the 18th, we have Saturn quincux the true node. Also, that happens at 9:40 a.m., by the way. Also on June 18th at 7:27 p.m., we have Neptune retrograde. So I didn't look up anything to talk to you guys about Saturn. I probably should have, but I am prepared to talk to you about the Neptune retrograde. June 21st at 6:07 a.m. I don't know if you guys are noticing all these 11:11s either, these 13s, which equal 11:11, 9:40 a.m., 6:07 a.m. All right, the sun enters Cancer on June 21st. June 21st, again, is the day of the summer solstice. It is the last day of Gemini. On June 22nd, Cancer will begin. And that's it. The next occurrence in the celestial system, major transit in the celestial system, will be on June 26th when Mars goes retrograde, but this reading only goes up to the 23rd. So that said, let me tell you a little bit about the other stuff I mentioned. So I said there will be an eclipse. I told you guys that. A solar eclipse occurs on August 11th, 2018 at 18 degrees and 42 minutes of Leo, affecting people born with personal planets and points at approximately 14 to 24 degrees of the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius most significantly. So similar to how I just said that this partial eclipse that was connected to Gemini is going to most help affect, impact the mutable signs like Gemini. This solar eclipse that is in a fixed sign, Leo, is going to most impact the fixed signs like Leo. I did have something about how it would affect each of us, though, I thought. Maybe not. All right, let me do Eid first, and then the summer solstice, and then the Neptune retrograde, and then we'll go into the reading. So from www.sun.co.uk/news is, what is Eid al-Fitr? Eid, or Eid al-Fitr, marks the end of Ramadan, which is a month of fasting that started on May 16th and finished on June 14th in 2018. So again, some of us recognize it ending on June 15th. It is an important religious holiday for Muslims and is a day when they are not permitted to fast. It's a day of celebration and eating. It kickstarts the month of Shawwal, which begins with a feast to end the period of fasting. The celebration is a public holiday in many Muslim countries, but is not one in the UK, despite a campaign for it to be recognized that began back in 2014. During Eid, Muslims will often purchase new clothes for the occasion and take part in festivals and celebrations. Many will wake up early to pray at a mosque or an outdoor prayer venue. Gifts and cards are often exchanged among friends and family. Eid means celebration and Mubarak means blessed. So often Eid Mubarak is used as a greeting over this period, as I did in the beginning of this reading. So when is it? It started on June 14th and it's going to be finished. It says finish the following day. That's not true. It's like 3 days. So I don't know what this is talking about. This is because they have an explanation for it. The dates can be adjusted slightly nearer to the time due to lunar sightings and changes each year. This is because the Islamic calendar, known as the al-Qur'an calendar, is based on the moon cycle, whereas the Gregorian one is determined by the sun. As the two don't align, the Islamic dates move back around 11 days each year. Isn't that funny? 11 days. So it goes on to talk about how there will be another Eid further along in the year. And that one should be Eid al-Adha, but I'm not going to read about that, so I don't know. Don't quote me. Quickly, Shawwal is the 10th month of the lunar calendar, Islamic calendar. And it means to lift or to carry. And it's so named because female camels normally would be carrying a fetus at this time of year. Oh, that reminds me. So I've also been seeing, some of you know, and some of you have experienced yourselves, unfortunately, the divine masculine, in some cases, having these children outside of the union. And unfortunately, that continues. These camels carrying a fetus just reminded me. I didn't mean anything. No offense to anybody, but that's what reminded me. I have heard this week Billie Jean again, as I did like last August, when there were a lot of children that were actually not these men's children. They were being accused of having fathered children, but they were not their children. Heard Billie Jean again. And also Confessions by Usher this week. So that continues. In addition to what I've seen and stuff, that continues. All right, let's go to Neptune retrograde. I'm going to go to one of my favorite places to get information about retrograde, www.findyourfate.com. Neptune takes about 164 years to do a complete revolution around the sun, thus spending around 14 years in each sign of the zodiac. Neptune moves into retrograde approximately every year for around 150 days. When Neptune goes retrograde, our spirituality, inner tranquility, and vision become the focus. So Neptune enters retrograde this week on June. It's already been, of course, in its shadow period, approaching retrograde since February 26, 2018. And it officially enters retrograde at 3:44 p.m., 16 degrees Pisces, 30. That means like 30 minutes within, on June 18th, 2018. Now I'm going to bustle.com. And an article about what Neptune retrograde means for you based on your zodiac sign. www.bustle.com/what-neptune-retrograde-means-for-you-based-on-your-zodiac-sign. Okay, again, by Ali Hoff Kosick. It's unlikely that you've missed the idea of planetary retrograde altogether. Several times a year, it seems the whole world falls apart at the mere mention of Mercury going retrograde. I'm getting a little sick to my stomach just thinking of it, honestly. But Mercury isn't the only planet that can go into retrograde. Retrograde is an equal opportunity phenomenon in the solar system, and Neptune is about to have its chance. So what does Neptune retrograde mean for your sign? After all, it's starting soon. Even the astrology resistant might be interested in the effects of Neptune retrograde because it's long. Yes, it is. Oh, okay. They refer to the Astrology King here. I've heard of him, but I don't watch him. According to Astrology King, Neptune retrograde begins on June 18th and continues all the way through November 24th. Yes, that is correct. We just read that on another site. And we'll be dealing with this until Thanksgiving. Yes, we will. Per Astro Style, so I guess they checked into a few different sites and things, planetary retrograde is a period during which it looks to us on Earth as if any one planet, in this case Neptune, is spinning backward. While this is a pretty cool illusion, the truth is that Earth has outpaced that planet in its orbit around the sun. As a result of this series of events, things can begin to feel a little funky, but the funkiness differs depending upon what planet we're talking about. New York City-based astrologer Lisa Stardust spoke to Bustle to share all the details on what to expect with this latest news from Neptune. And good news, there is no reason to freak out. If you are an Aquarius, you'll find yourself less and less interested in material wealth as retrograde goes on. Aquarius, instead, you'll find satisfaction in spiritual practices that build your inner happiness. It will feel great to discover and love yourself. That's Aquarius all day, 24/7. But I guess it'll be amped up. Pisces, expect your emotions to feel heightened over the coming weeks and for others to think that they can project their own emotions onto you as a result. Quote, you can use your dreamy versatility to relate to others differently and to cultivate different relationships with others. End quote. Dust tells Bustle. Aries, quote, life is one big dream, Stardust says. Quote, this may resonate with you over the next few months as you opt to sleep in and to meditate, end quote. Sounds good, right? Well, mostly. You might hear from some haters who think you're spending too much time focusing on self-care during retrograde, but that's okay. Don't feel guilty for working on yourself and trying to heal. Taurus, you may be feeling like the people you care about have been letting you down lately. And as an innately loyal person, you probably find this especially painful. It's more important than ever that you remain true to yourself, even if that means quietly seeking out a new group of people who will make you better and happy, make you a better and happier version of yourself. Now I got to stop there for a minute to remind you guys that the Hierophant, which represents the sign of Taurus, is all about surrounding ourselves with people with whom we better align and vibe. You know, sometimes we just have to make these adjustments. So it looks like Taurians, you may, you know, have to actually take on that energy of that card that represents you all during this period. Gemini, I got this. You have got this, Gemini. Life has been kind of glamorous for you lately, and the added attention that you've been getting will give you the platform that you need to make some exciting new connections and even to start an interesting side hustle. Lean into it because it could grow into a big success down the road. Cancer. You usually play it safe, Cancer, but Neptune's retrograde might have you feeling a little bit bolder over the coming months. Seize the opportunity to do something that you would normally feel is dangerous to you. An outrageous trip, a skydiving expedition, a day totally free of plans. You'll be surprised at how much you can gain from keeping an open mind. Leo, could you give us some privacy for like 1 second? Life feels free of personal boundaries lately. It seems like everyone around you is involved in everyone else's business, and it's exhausting. Establish some limits where you can by stepping back from gossip and social media, and respect privacy whenever possible. Virgo, Stardust recommends that you beware of commitments while Neptune is in retrograde. You should also be mindful of keeping your eyes wide open about your partner. Make sure that you're seeing who they really are and not who you want them to be. Libra, I got this. Your colleagues haven't been meeting your expectations, leaving you to handle projects and tasks all on your own. But guess what? You're thriving and have it totally under control. Managing these assignments independently has really helped you to cut down on drama and allowed you to become more efficient. Scorpio, trees don't grow even. They don't grow straight, just however it makes them happy. You're going to find peace through creative projects during Neptune's retrograde. Figure out what form works best for you. Painting, dance, music, and embrace it. You may want to consider writing just because of the Gemini new moon, at least right now, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, or 2 or 3 months through August. You may want to consider writing as a creative project as well. Creativity will allow you to use your transformative energy and to heal and to make you feel more connected to the world as a visionary, Stardust says. Sagittarius, baby, I'm home. It's been a weird few weeks and you're questioning your feelings and beliefs about a lot of things, Sagittarius. The best way to proceed is to return to where it all began, your family and your home. The world around you will be easier to figure out with that perspective. Capricorn. Capricorn, you typically rely on facts, and retrograde has left you feeling confused, which is an uncomfortable place for you to be. Stardust suggests that you use your own intuition to navigate challenging communication situations and your personal wisdom to determine what's true and what's not. Well, again, I think Gemini and the solar eclipse are going to help you with that communication, Capricorn. And that was all 15 signs. All 12 signs, rather. Now, other than that, what to expect in a general sense from Neptune retrograde from spiritsciencecentral.com, www.spiritsciencecentral.com, all one word, /Neptune-retrograde 2018. Neptune, the 8th and farthest planet in our solar system, rules over spiritual evolution, personal transformation, and dreams. When it goes retrograde, it dispels delusions and opens your eyes to reality. Starting this June 18th and extending through November 24th, its message is clear. It's time to stop dreaming and to start doing. Neptune retrograde wakes up the dozy dreamer in you and lovingly pushes you to get real about your life. It shows you how to start actually working toward the life we envision. The journey of spiritual evolution. Neptune, being a planet of spirituality, provides an opportunity for incredible spiritual and personal self-growth. It is the ideal time to focus on your inner world, find what is out of place and what can be worked on. Neptune retrograde can open your eyes to reality and push you to seek the truth. Neptune retrograde takes up to 40% of the year, yet this does not make it any less powerful. This year around, you are in luck, as the sometimes painful growth spurts of your spirit will be softened by positive emotions at the same time due to influences of other planets. This Neptune retrograde will be full of hope. This is a great time to go forth with the life you are dreaming of, casting aside all of the negative beliefs and made up obstacles. Amen. Meanwhile, it's also a great idea to use this time to focus on your intuition and psychic abilities. They will be heightened this period, and you will also and they will also help you to uncover the illusions that may be holding you hostage. So things you've convinced yourself of that are not true. Break free of illusions during Neptune retrograde. Neptune's dark side is a real blessing in disguise. It uncovers harsh realities of what you have been avoiding. While it may be painful for a moment, the truth will set you free and help you to soar high in your life. If any illusions have clouded your mind in the past, they will come to the surface to be properly addressed once and for all. If you have deceived yourself about the state of your finances, career, or relationships, so anything fake that we're involved in, we're about to get real. Neptune retrograde will point out where you are living in a fantasy world and help you to understand reality and to improve it. These revelations can come not only from this life, but also from a past life experience. Be on the lookout for any events that trigger a strong response in you. Triggers are signs for you to heal a part of yourself. For the deepest healing to take place, it's necessary to look inside yourself at your habits and behaviors at this time to find where you're deceiving yourself. What are you hiding from yourself? Are there behaviors that are not serving you? Neptune retrograde will help you to get rid of the self-sabotaging behavior and to defeat any addictions. Finally, it will gently guide you to face any negative emotions like guilt, fear, and anxiety that may have been repressed or put aside. Once these are revealed and released, the true healing can take place. To help to navigate through these times of releasing while staying centered and grounded, the spirit of the zodiac signs, Pisces, ruling over this Neptune retrograde, is on your side. how to get in the flow with Pisces. The Neptune retrograde is in the sign of Pisces, and it will help you to go with the flow as you uncover and defeat any illusions that have unconsciously ruled your life, incorporating healthy habits into your routine and finding fitting ways to release any stress and let go is vital for your success. Read self-help books, practice daily meditation, breathing exercises, or yoga. Remember to exercise. The sign of Pisces will especially value swimming. Continue detoxifying your body to unburden yourself of toxins. Absolutely avoid all toxins and drugs. Stay away from things that drain your energy, like toxic people, overwhelming crowded places, and negative situations. Make a plan for the future to clear your mind. Ponder upon and write out what your priorities are at this time. Focus on developing your psychic gifts and pay attention to your dreams. Study dream interpretation. And then they list additional resources if you'd like to go through. Most of those things that they mentioned, I had already suggested everybody do, and not necessarily connected with Neptune retrograde, but more so, again, because of this period over the next few months through August 11th. Healing, healing, healing is what I say we have to do. And as far as breaking free of toxic people and cutting cords and all that kind of stuff, again, I do all that if you need help with that, and I will be putting it all on sale, effective immediately. All right, so with that said, let's get into what the cards have to say, or the dice first, beginning with sex. Try again. And eat cake. Oops, one just fell out by itself. It now says weekend away. Try again wants us to try yet again. This is also in connection to actually trying something again, not just me trying the dice again. It still says try again. So like something that didn't work out that you are really interested in having work out, try again. Relationships, maybe attempts for a job, dust yourself off, get your suit cleaned, go back out there for another interview, maybe getting into school or something didn't work out before, try again, apply somewhere else. All of these things I'm feeling for you. And I've heard a couple times this week, actually, now that I say it, Aaliyah, try her song, Try Again. First you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. And now it says, forget it. So whatever doesn't work out after you have tried and given it your best effort, put your best foot forward, just let it go. Don't let it get you down, depressed or anything like that. Just forget it. Move on. What is meant to be for you, what is for you will be for you. Lastly, Spirit says party. And maybe that party and the cake goes with all the birthdays. So before I forget to do that, again, happy Father's Day. Some of you may be having cake for that reason. Happy birthday to the last of the Geminis through the 21st. Happy birthday to the first week Cancers. I'm going to start with this energy that they were just talking about, where we this false illusions and, feeling stuck and being trapped and having placed obstacles in front of ourselves. The Eight of Air, an illusion of being trapped, the lack of self-confidence and being afraid to take action. And opening to release. Yes, release, death to it. It's time to let it go, just like that passage that I just read suggested. Release represents fellow water sign Scorpio. The end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. Release. And here's Cancer, the Chariot. An important achievement, self-discipline or willpower, public recognition. The Chariot is a major card of victory, but it can also be about movement or actual moving and modes of transportation. Like how are you moving? How are you getting there? Planes, trains, automobiles. It's also a metaphorical card about movement and positive movement forward. Hashtag winning. And it's here opposite death. So it's like moving, it's like moving on, to a better situation and leaving the past behind. Chariot. And the Page of Fire is outgoing, creative, confident, mischievous, news of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. The Page of Fire is a Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, or maybe even a Scorpio. Could also be representing the planet Jupiter itself. And karma. And coming to the King of Earth, who's generous, professional, responsible, and practical. Successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. The King of Earth is a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, is someone likened to those traits or attributes, with some abundance on its way to them. Overall energy this week is the Four of Fire. Very nice. Contentment, peace, and abundance. A happy home life and the successful completion of a project. This is the general reading. This is not the relationship reading, not the love reading, but it could have to do with some of the unions and reunions. And when I use that term, I don't mean like the ultimate union that the universe speaks of, that's prophesized. I just mean, reconciling, getting back together, being happy, being at peace, being content, feeling joy, feeling love, and, just living life, right? Definitely seeing evidence of that, feeling evidence of that. It's been in all the recent readings. Also, a lot of this this evidence of the masculine in many cases, like just being really sorry for something he's done, and maybe it's these side babies for some and all that kind of stuff, but other forms of hurt and disrespect, I guess, and maybe not only toward the feminine but toward himself and who knows who else. So I think a lot of the piece is letting go of those past resentments, regrets, pain, ego, fear, pride, which was also mentioned in what I just read, too. I think this is what we get for the most part, why the Four of Fire is here, the Four of Wands. Another 1111, by the way. Two at the root today came out. Extra one came out on its own. Crowning the masculine is balance. Major Arcana card 14, which is temperance in the traditional tarot. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing. So like I said, balance is temperance, which represents the sign of Sagittarius, fellow mutable sign to Gemini, Sagittarius. And also for me, Aquarius, which is one of the fixed signs, because this is a water bearer. I don't care what anybody says. It's a water bearer that's on the front of this card. And on most temperance cards, in like most decks that I've seen, it's an angel or some sort of, being that is holding vessels of water and standing in a pool or a river or something. More importantly than that, though, this is about the healing that I've been talking about, since I started, and that I've read about as well. The universe sending healing, and also an indication of the need for healing on the side of the masculine, the part of the masculine. He is surrounded by Major Arcana card, the World, and this may be why the World, for a lot of, quote unquote tarot readers, is about the world being your oyster. The world is at your feet. The world is in your hands, all that kind of stuff. For me, it's not, or tends not to be that at all, and is instead an indication that you've overstayed your welcome in something, some relationship, a job, a circumstance, a friendship, something. You've been there too long. You knew it wasn't working. You knew you needed to get out, but you just kept staying, or maybe going back to it, and like refusal to let it go, refusal to let it die. And so now the universe not only stepping in with healing for you here with temperance, but stepping in period in general and saying, you got to come out of this. So it's easing you out of a situation. And sometimes it's funny, it's ironic, because we get to a point where the universe is easing us out of a situation when we start to realize, oh, things are changing. I'm going to be leaving this person soon. I'm going to be looking for a new job, or I've put in some applications. Then we get impatient. All of a sudden we're impatient. We overstayed our welcome. And, we could have been left these situations and circumstances, but we convinced ourselves we were stuck in them. And then as soon as the universe steps in to help us, now we want out. So the world actually may require some patience. It can require some patience. It may be involving a third party as well, some sort of party of three. Not necessarily a love triangle, but that is a possibility. Masculine subconscious. The 10 of air, the end of a difficult situation, being pulled out of it and healing is being sent. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Some of us may even be recovering from an addiction. And an addiction, sometimes the first thing we think of is like substance abuse, and that can be the case, but it doesn't have to be. There's so many types of addiction. Any codependency, any person, place, or thing upon which we are codependent, or that is codependent upon us, which is in effect some sort of toxic relationship that we need to get out of, that we haven't yet. And we're just like draining each other, or, using each other, even if it's not with malicious intent and conscious thought, by our neediness or their neediness upon us. It's just a drain, and just using each other, and it's unhealthy. Any of those type of circumstances, whether it's a job, a relationship, some sort of, circumstances with your family or whatever, is something that you, that is codependent, and you need to get out of it. It's dysfunctional. It's toxic. Crown of the feminine. It's another 3. The Empress with Archangel Gabriel. Lavish abundance. Give birth to your dreams instead of nurture yourself and others. The Empress well, first and foremost, it represents the planet Venus for me, and therefore the signs which she rules. Taurus, the fixed sign Taurus, Libra, and the mutable sign Gemini. It is about abundance coming our way. The Empress, like the planet Venus, is also about popularity and attraction, feeling beautiful, looking beautiful, being attractive to others, even strangers. People are seeing a glow about you. Your confidence is up. Your esteem is up. You can become very popular, very just like a magnet for all things abundance. The Empress can also have to do with one's mother, or with oneself as a mother or as a nurturer, right? That sort of femininity. Can have to do with pregnancy as well. And, perhaps it is the feminine who is pregnant, or maybe this is showing up on her side because she's dealing with a masculine that it's got a party of 3 situation that involves somebody being pregnant by him that is not her. Also, for those trying, this week would be a good week to try to get pregnant while this energy of the Empress does surround us. It's all about fertility, in a literal sense and in a metaphorical sense. The feminine is surrounded by the Page of Earth, who is scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Good news about financial matters. So sitting here under the Empress, which again can represent abundance in all of its forms, this is like doubly a message. Pages bring messages, bring news. This is like reconfirmation of what the Empress may represent in some of our lives. Wanting to do something more challenging is also a possibility, and maybe a new area of study. So that can be literal too, and we can be going back to school, some of us, or going to school for the first time, going off to school. Some of us are younger, maybe we're going to college or something. This could be connected to our children, right? Pages, the younger, the more youthful. Also, because it's connected to the younger and the more youthful, it's connected first and foremost of the zodiac signs to the sign of Virgo for me, fellow mutable sign Virgo, but can also represent Capricorn or Taurus as well, of course, as does the Empress. Again, Venus rules the sign of Taurus. It can be about life, right? New area of study can be, love under new management, life under new management, a new boss, maybe a literal new boss, a new job. It doesn't have to be going to school. Like, you could be learning a new vocation. You could be in training for something at a new job. But more importantly, just be aware that abundance is on its way to you. And that can be in the form of finances, the material, or love, or combinations of those, all of the above. At the root for the feminine this week. Very nice. The Knight of Earth, who is loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. And like the page, he's a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And the good thing about the Knight of Earth is that he always reaches his goal. So if he's bringing us abundance, it is coming. There's no doubt about it. We're going to get it. I don't even see an indication necessarily other than this Knight of Earth, which is in our own mind, that we need to be patient. So if the feminine is prepared to be patient, to wait for this abundance, that's awesome. But the Knight of Earth can, the reason you might be thinking that is he is all about slow and steady wins the race. But he does win. Again, he always makes it to his destination. He reaches his goal. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel that's watching over you, helping you to do so. Crowning the union. Major Arcana card number 18, the Moon with Archangel Haniel. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes. Release fears that hold you back. Not surprised to see the moon. I've been talking about the moon the whole reading, the Gemini new moon, because of this energy that we're going to feel. And again, the next thing that's coming up, or that I connected with that, was that solar eclipse in Leo, 18 degrees too. August 11th. So another 8 there. The moon represents the sign of Pisces in the tarot. And we've talked a lot about Neptune and Pisces as well. Neptune going retrograde this week again. So I spent a lot of time on that. And that can be what this card is showing up for, to remind us about that retrograde and those changes, how they will affect us as individuals and in general. And the fact that we can expect our psychic awareness to be strengthened, our psychic insights to be greater and receive a lot of downloads and messages and hints and synchronicities and signs and all that kind of stuff. Also to know that things are going on behind the scenes. There's movement behind the scenes. The universe is working. There's just stuff that they don't want us to know. But we're not supposed to allow what we don't know to hold us back, keep us from moving forward. So release those fears that are holding you back. At the root here, forgot we had 2. One is the Page of Water, Pisces. So again, connected to this Neptune. Intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly is the Page of Water. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase, and you have heightened psychic abilities, as I was just saying a moment ago. The Page of Water is a Pisces for me, a Cancer or a Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And it's all about, again, pages bring news of, something that's going to make you emotionally happy. It's an offer of love, or you're making an offer of love towards someone else. This can also be connected to a child. The Cups cards or Water cards, summer, that suit, can always be connected to a child. But since, again, the pages represent the more youthful and the young, Page of Water often represents a child. The other card that came out is the Magician with Archangel Raziel. You are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them, and life is magical. The Magician represents for me the sign of Gemini, or perhaps the other mutable signs, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces. Okay, so I think that's why it's here right now, to remind us that we have this, while you can take on the energy, while you have the opportunity to take on the energy of the mutable signs, and particularly if you have a planet within 11 degrees of any of the mutable signs, this is your time to be manifesting and giving birth to something new ideas, new communication, new offers of love, new chances at love, new tries, try again, it didn't work out before, I'm going for it again. And manifest that abundance into your life that you're looking for. Manifest the end of this difficult situation and being pulled out of this old situation to make yourself ready and available for this new one. Manifest yourself being restored and brought back to wholeness, so that you're emotionally ready and available to share yourself with someone else after having experienced something that was difficult and trying and, dysfunctional. Manifesting happiness and abundance. At the roots, Beautiful. Major Arcana card, renewal or judgment in the traditional tarot with Archangel Jeremiah. Review and evaluate a favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. Judgment for me, a renewal, represents the sign of Scorpio, the planet Pluto, which it rules. Pluto currently retrograde as well in Capricorn. Judgment being about abundance that is earned. Okay, nobody's doing you a favor. Nobody's giving you this abundance just, for the sake of it, and nobody expects anything back from you. It's unconditional. You earned it. It's yours. Your bonus, your raise. And that can be metaphorical too. It can be from the universe, a raise, elevation, promotion, ascension. And then that in turn manifests down here in the form of something tangible. The universe has blessed me and raised me up, elevated me, and now abundance is coming toward me. I just got a new job. I just hit the lottery. I just had a baby. I'm just, whatever it is. I just found a new man, found a new woman, whatever it is you're trying to bring about. Can all be a result of this judgment. As it relates to general energies, judgment, it's pretty straightforward. It's about being judgmental and, watching that, not being overly judgmental of yourself or anybody else, because karma is attached to that. It's like mind your business, basically. And as it relates to relationships with others, so friendships, business relationships, familial relationships, romantic relationships, it is about having come to a crossroad and the need to determine where, if anywhere, do we go from here. Maybe we need to be like those Taurians that we read about when we were talking about the Neptune thing, and we got to let some people go and change with whom we surround ourselves. So when we get to the point at the crossroad we meet here, we're going to decide we're not going anywhere further together. This is it for us, and you go that way, I'm going this way. But some of us are going to reunite, meet for the first time, and decide, okay, we've been dodging each other. I noticed you across the room. You noticed me across the room, but we've been dodging each other. Now we got to meet here and decide what are we doing, and and people moving forward. Let's further clarify, however, with another tarot deck, and that will be the Animal Tarot, beginning with the Ace of Summer, which can in itself be about reconciliation and reunion or brand new love, new relationships. This is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of romantic love, the rebirth of a current relationship, or the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights. Opening to the Six of Autumn, your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, acquire wise loans, and receive a grant or a scholarship. In return for heaven's blessings, be sure to share the wealth with others through donations of time or money to reputable charities. As it relates to love, similarly, this card is about unconditional love for me. The same way we're giving to people of ourselves, our money, our material things, when we give our hearts and love of ourselves to other people, whether they're strangers or people with whom we share some sort of relationship without expecting anything back. We're just giving it to them to give. I love because I love. That is unconditional. And it's the ability to have that love be able to pass both ways. And for us to each be able to give and receive love in all of its forms, whether it's, dropping a dollar in a stranger's cup on the street that needs your help, or, again, a relationship in which you're involved. It's about not wanting anything returned for your love and being able to accept love like that from somebody else too. Because a lot of us, we put up a wall like, hey, what's this? What are you up to? And they're not up to anything. It's a genuine love. This is what the Six of Autumn represents. Opposite the Ace, really, really nice. Really, really awesome. Ace of Summer. And the Three of Spring. Stop to take time to review and to make long-term plans, capitalizing on your past successes. It's appropriate for you to pat yourself on the back for all of your accomplishments, but you may also need patience, so similar to this three, for the next phase to play out. Ace of Spring. And the Five of Summer, focusing upon the negative or worrying about money or your career or bad relationships, all that kind of stuff can block your progress. Because your trust and faith are low, it's not the best time to, start anything new, any new businesses, any new relationships, become self-employed, if you're feeling that way. But the Five of Autumn is about lack. And as it relates to love, for me, it's like fear of lack in a relationship, because that's what you experienced before. Fear of abandonment, fear of commitment. Just fear of lack, period. This Ace of Summer comes to show you that that's not what you're going to experience. This is emotional abundance. Ace of Summer. And it's the Four of Spring, which is our overall energy on the first deck. You'll remember the Four of Wands, the Four of Fire. Same card. It's time to kick back, relax, and to celebrate all that you have. Joy arises from success in your career, the completion of a project, or a very happy home life or relationship. Speaking of Taurus and the Hierophant, that is our overall energy from this deck. Major Arcana card 5, Unity, or the High Priest, or the Hierophant, which does in fact represent the sign of Taurus. Embrace this time of deep spiritual growth. You may feel called to act as a mentor, to find a new teacher, or to spend time with others who are also on a sacred path. I can say more so people who better align with your vibration, people with who you vibe, period. And people, of your vibration or higher, from whom you can learn something and continue to ascend. Not like energy vampires and people that are going to bring you down. So if that's what you've been experiencing, those are the people that you need to cut off, and from what you need to move on when you get to this crossroad with them. A top balance or temperance, it's another 5, right? This is Major Arcana card 14 or 5. 5s can be about drama. 5s can be about the need to, for like a clearing of energy, a change in energy. And they can be about changes that are coming in general. Again, you need a change in energy. You need healing. And it might be because you've been dealing with drama and you got to leave this alone, detach from this. Your current path isn't leading you toward the happiest possible outcome, so why not change it? Always maintain integrity and compassion, but be alert to the hidden agendas of others. So again, because our overall energy is also a 5, you may have to change with whom you surround yourself as part of your healing, as part of your getting better, your wellness. You may have to leave some people alone in their foolishness. Now, when I went to pick this up, it's not the card immediately behind it is the 8 of Summer. But I had actually picked that up as well to reveal yet another 5. So I was meant to see and show you guys this, I believe, as well. All right, it's the 5 of Spring. This is also about conflict and turmoil and the need to take action. And behind that is another Major Arcana card 20, or Judgment or Renewal. Coming to a crossroad with people, deciding that we can't even kick it no more. No more shopping sprees, no more, late night, whatever. No more VIP, no more dough. We can't even kick it no more. It's the end of the road for some of these friendships, relationships, whatever they are here. Atop the world surrounding the masculine, It's another card that represents the sign of Sagittarius. So the Sagittarius may be very instrumental here, or Jupiter. This can be attached to your karma. And that can be why this is showing up as well. Because this is a very karmic energy that comes to help you. And the Temperance is a very karmic energy that comes to help you as well. The Princess of Spring is energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are fluttering your way. Personal growth and broadened horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. Okay? And there are some people who may not get to go along for the ride on those, you know, with you toward this new opportunity. Wands cards or spring cards, also again about action, the need to take action. So however that applies to you in leaving an old situation alone and moving toward a new one. Masculine subconscious, atop the 10 of spring, the Queen of Spring. Top the 10 of air, rather, in this difficulty, this conflict. The Queen of Spring, talented, brilliant, independent, and charming, is the Queen of Spring. Don't underestimate your ability to manifest your dreams. You may have several priorities vying for your attention at once, but you can do it. 10 of air can also represent betrayal and backstabbing. So with this at the root and the 5 of winter crowning, I really do feel that some of you masculine and a good bit of you have some negative people and circumstances surrounding you that you really are going to want to take the opportunity to leave those alone. The universe is giving you an opportunity to break away from that, and you're really going to want to take that, is my suggestion. The Queen of Spring is even where you're feeling that you don't have the confidence to do that, to do those things. You don't feel strong enough. You don't feel that you can accomplish it. The Queen of Spring shows up to say, yes, you can. You are empowered. You are strong. You are confident, you know, and you can go for these things, pursue your passions and whatever this opportunity is. They're actually not letting me leave this or that song alone. It's no more shopping sprees, no more late night creeps, no more VIP, no more dough. We can't even kick it no more. Some of you with this 10 of air here have somebody who is some sort of betrayer, a cheater or something in your life. So if it's a romantic relationship, somebody has been cheated on, and that's the relationship needs to come to an end. A friend has betrayed someone, a family member. Something has gone wrong for some people, and that's what this 5 of winter is. That's what the energy of Sagittarius is about, and karma coming around to show you what's going on and to help you to be moved from this situation. In a lot of cases, like I tend to say, the person who is at fault, who did wrong, is going to be a Leo. The Queen in the tarot tends to be connected to the fixed signs. The fixed sign of the element of spring or fire or wands is Leo. And there's these 3 cats on here too, another party of 3. And again, the 10 of air is about betrayal. So in a lot of these cases, there's going to be specifically a Leo. Of course, there can be a Sagittarius involved, or an Aries, or even a Scorpio as well. But I think that the energy of Sagittarius is showing up more so to represent Jupiter and the fact that karma is coming in here. They keep playing that song in my head. Never thought that you'd do me wrong. I thought this love was strong. Okay, I'm going to try to move on, but I'm still hearing it. Does he hit it from the front to back? Yeah. Some people have some cheating here. Maybe that's where some of the babies are coming in too. And that's why I keep hearing Billie Jean, because I heard it again a few minutes ago, actually. And some of these men who believe that they have fathered some children, they are fortunately not the father. It's not going to be a happy Father's Day. All right. I'm trying to move on. Crowning the feminine atop the Empress is the Ten of Spring. See, there's something going on again with a child, with co-parenting. And our 10 involving the element of fire mirrors the masculine's 10 involving the element of fire. This can be specifically also situations, people who are going through this, may be combinations specifically of air and fire. Because we have the Empress here, who again is the ruler of the sign of Libra as well as Gemini. There's your air connected to this. And you have the Ten of Spring. Difficulty, strife, struggle, being made to hold the whole bag by yourself and deal with all the pain and everything this by yourself. That's what the Ten of Spring is about. Ten of Air. Codependent relationships, toxic relationships, betrayal, being stabbed in the back, mirroring this other fire and air energy. Fire and air here, fire and air here, and fire and air here. Venus currently in Leo as well, by the way. And maybe that's what is helping to bring some of this stuff up to the surface too. Atop the page of Earth, the love reading is going to be interesting. Atop the page of Earth is the Prince of Summer. Nice. Romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during a whirlwind encounter like this. So stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. The Prince of Summer is a Pisces, perhaps, crossing this page of water, and the moon. Scorpio or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, or someone who's making a proposal. This offer of love that the page of water represents can be in the form of some sort of proposal. Will you go out with me? Will you marry me? Will you whatever? And maybe we're afraid to do that because of some funky stuff that's been going on. And that's where the energy of the Five of Earth comes in, and the fear to, move beyond these things. But again, the moon guides us to reject the fear, reject the illusion of the love being disingenuous, and go for it. At the root, atop the Knight of Earth for the feminine. Oh, here's the indication that we need to make some sort of decision. Yes or no to this. But right now we're not doing anything. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. Let me read this part again. Stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. And here we're guided to use our intuition as well, also here. So those are all the things that you're going to put into making this decision, feminine. And thankfully this week you'll have also Neptune helping you by removing, since Neptune is moving retrograde, it is removing the veil rather than covering your face with it. So you'll have that as well. Atop the moon, and speaking of Neptune, is the King of Winter, intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional is the King of Winter. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert that you can find. The King of Winter is a Libra, like Venus represents, a Gemini, an Aquarius, or someone liking to those traits or attributes. This can also be a representation of Mercury currently in Cancer. In the tarot, the moon represents the sign of Pisces, but Earth's moon rules the sign of Cancer. So these two cards together can be a representation of Mercury in Cancer right now. At the root here, atop the Magician and the Page of Water, the Eight of Autumn. It's the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, or conducting research. Do your best work, and the law of attraction will bring you prosperity and career advancement. So now we have the Eight of Autumn sitting here under Judgment. Judgment is where you're being rewarded for your hard work. The Eight of Autumn is where you're being rewarded for your hard work. Your whatever you put into wherever you put it is paying off. This is when you reap what you've sown. The Seven of Earth is, or Autumn, is where we sow seeds or planting seeds. And the Eight is where we reap them. We're collecting what we put work into. So whether it's relationships, whether it's an actual job, going to school, raising children, friendships, and, you know, just reviewing your life and making adjustments, adding people, cutting people off, it's going to pay off now. At the heart of the matter, a top renewal or judgment is Major Arcana card Strength, which represents the sign of Leo. I told you a Leo is up to some fuckery this week. Leo. Or it can be just a Leo is at the heart of the situation. Not that they're necessarily responsible, but they're up in the mix. They're in the middle. They're deep involved. They're in the middle, and literally here in the spread of some foolishness. But true strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. And you have tremendous personal power and courage. So whatever this situation is and however it plays out in your life, you can get through it. For some of us, on a happier note, this strength is just going to be needed to get us through to the point where we can say, yes, I accept. Yes, I'm going to follow my heart. Whatever my heart is telling me to do is going to be what my decision is. And some of us are dealing with something that's a little bit more heavy. I also wanted to see what we all needed to surrender this week, beginning with not what we need to surrender, what lessons we're to learn this week. These are my lesson cards, the Soul's Journey lesson cards. And at the bottom of the deck is surrender. That's one of the lessons that we all need. I can release my need to control. These are my surrender cards, beginning with surrender denial for all of us. Accept people and situations exactly as they are, right? Stop putting these veils in front of yourself, to convince yourself of otherwise. I think one of the signs, I think it was Virgo, was told that specifically in talking about how Neptune retrograde was going to affect your sign. We can't deny the difficulties that lie in some of these relationships, and we can't ignore them and continue to live our lives miserably because, we feel based on some ideology we can't leave a person or a job or a circumstance, or we have to talk to our family, even if they're abusive to us, and all these things. None of this is true. None of this is true. We all deserve freedom, happiness, love. And if we have to look at people as they are and love some people from a distance, if we want to continue to love them, we just got to back away and do it from far. We can no longer, remain with them. And that's what this says. Then you can see things clearly and make your best decisions about what to do. Judgment. And from the Abundance Oracle, the Angels of Abundance, what's coming to us this week, beginning with quiet retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world so that you can discern and process your true thoughts and feelings from your inner world. Create this quiet time for yourself and you'll have more clarity about what to do next. So further, from the Abundance Angels to the masculine, do the work. It's not enough to dream or pray. You've also got to take the positive action steps that are being divinely guided, that you're being divinely guided to take. Consistently working on your priorities will make them flourish like a lush flower garden. And priorities and working on your priorities came up in the new moon and Gemini reading too. And I think specifically for the masculine. For the feminine, from the Angels of Abundance, declutter. That Taurian energy and or Queen of Swords and cutting stuff away that, or people away that don't fit anymore. You'll feel better and more focused if you take the time to clear away clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need the items, and be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. I say your emotional, space too. Keep that uncluttered as well. Your friendships, neaten that up. From the surrender cards, masculine, what you are to surrender this week. Surrender to setting limits. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships, right? That's what I was talking about here. We can't just continue to let this go on. It's healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs. And remember that no is a complete sentence. No, I'm not going to take this anymore. No, I forgive you, but I won't be forgetting that you stabbed me in the back. No, I can't continue to deal with this drama. I'm trying to get well. This has been pulling me down and making me just ill. No, I can't stay in this situation anymore. The universe is throwing me a life raft and I got to get on it. To the feminine, what do we need to surrender this week? Surrender to receiving support and love. So this is that energy of the Six of Earth, the Six of Coins, Pentacles, however you want to call it. Allow the love and support of others in, rather than trying to handle everything yourself. That's also connected to this. The Ten of Spring is like trying to carry all the wands, all the burden, and not, sharing any of it. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. From the lesson, Soul's Journey lesson cards to the masculine, friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. And sometimes when that reason is done, the season is done, and we end it. And some of those friends, we're going to continue down the path. And even if we've hit a bump in the road, we're being granted the strength from the universe in order to continue. But we're going to have to use our words and use them clearly. Say what we mean what we say, in hashing things out with friends, relatives, romantic partners, whoever they are. Your boss, your employees. What lesson does the feminine need to learn this week? Denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. And we have all of this increased awareness coming this week to replace that fear that showed up for the feminine with the Five of Earth. From the angels to the masculine, justice with Archangel Raguel. Another 8, or maybe it's an 8/11. Talking about that very important date where the full solar eclipse will happen. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. Major Arcana card 8, Justice, represents the planet Venus and the sign of Libra, which she rules. Sometimes can be attached to another air sign as well. And it is about what it sounds like. You doling out justice and that you're being fair and reasonable and diplomatic with people, but also it's about you getting your justice, getting your just due. Maybe you've been having a hard time for a while. You've been struggling. And, the karma has finally come around. The wheel has finally turned to your favor where it's time for you to, receive some justice as well. And that's what's happening this week. But where you're in the position to dole it out, you've got to do that as well, because that karma is still watching, right? Her eye is always on us. From the angels to the feminine, it's another 10, but it's a much, much happier one. The 10 of water. A contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met, and you have trustworthy relationships. So this is, again, telling us that we don't have to fear this Prince of Summer, or the Page. We can welcome this. We can welcome being surrounded by friends, family, maybe for Father's Day, or maybe just because it's warm, people getting together, barbecues, birthdays. This can be one other person that we're happy with, that we're spending time with, but whomever it is, and wherever we are, it's being surrounded by joy and contentment and happiness, just like our overall energy of the Four of Wands. It's a really beautiful energy. And from the animals to the masculine, the 8 of spring. You've been presented with many wonderful opportunities all at once. While this may feel very stressful, remember to be grateful for the blessings that heaven sends you. This is also about communication and movement behind the scenes, similar to the moon for the masculine. And lastly, for us, feminine, the king of spring, inspiring, dramatic, ambitious, and wise is the king of spring. He's also a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, or perhaps Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Now's your moment to step up to a leadership role. Don't back away from the spotlight, as your plans will be successful as long as you stay focused upon the big picture. So whatever it is we're wanting, basically go for that. The universe is giving you the spunk, right? The gumption, whatever it is you need, the popularity, the esteem to go after your dreams this week in whatever area they are, feminine. And let go of the fear is what's most important for you, whether it's a job, a friendship, a romantic relationship, becoming pregnant for the first time, maybe becoming a mother, maybe celebrating your first Father's Day with your, man, or with your own father, things finally worked out, whatever it is. If we follow your heart, it's going to be a good time. Masculine, same thing for you. You've got different circumstances, but same thing at the end of the day. If you follow your heart, is maybe, what you're supposed to do based on some sort of old belief system or ideology that you have to make yourself miserable staying at a dead-end job or a dead-end relationship or, in a relationship with family that does not show you love, but rather shows you abuse. That's wrong too. And the right thing is to follow your heart and pursue your passions as well. So I hope that you guys all enjoyed the general weekly reading. I'll be back with the love reading, which I think should be very interesting this week. Namaste, angels.
I'ma make it to the top, yeah. All the haters, yeah, they see me